Reverend Michael McMorrow, coming to you live from the sanctuary at the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills, California, which is in the North San Fernando Valley. We haven't floated away in the last few days. We're still here. Actually had a lovely day today. It's great to have you with us. And our center is a place where we welcome all who practice their beliefs and faith and love. So if this is your first time joining us, welcome. And I'd like to introduce our presider this evening, Beverly Scott, to come on up, and she'll light our flames of faith for us while we take a deep conscious breath. Hand release. And in that release, we're just setting aside the cares and concerns of the day, the worldly clamors, and just allowing ourselves to center in this moment, this eternal now moment, as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. That fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this evening. So as Beverly lights the first candle, it's to honor the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. The third candle we light for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. The fourth candle we light for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. The seventh candle we light for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. The ninth candle we light for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here in our sanctuary, within our online community, and of course, within our own hearts. And now as Beverly lights the healing candle, and just keeping in mind anyone who started on their path of recovery this year, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender. I surrender. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I surrender. I surrender. I trust in
Be in this space to give praise and honor to our great Creator, the infinite Spirit that I am, one with the all. It is such a wonderful feeling to know that there is something greater than I, something that is more powerful, everywhere present, always on time. Knowing that this greatness is available to me and to each and every one that I know and yet to know brings me such great joy. And I release my thoughts, my desires, that this realization becomes clear and become a part of our daily walk in everything that we do, knowing that there is a better way, and it's right here and now available to us. I am so blessed and thankful that I am receptive and alert and aware to this presence, and that I have been given the opportunity to bring the light forth and share it in each step of the way. I give thanks, and I'm so glad that I have arrived in the kingdom of good, my good, which is also your good, the kingdom of God. I release this thought to the universal law, knowing that it is already done and manifested in my life and the lives of those here in the sanctuary and out online. Affirming it is already done, and so it is. Amen. Last week I was full of rain like everyone else, and I wasn't able to make it. But everyone carried on, and I'm so happy that we do move on. Nothing can slow us down and stop. As they say, one monkey can't stop a show, and that's a blessing. So, here I am this evening. Thank you. Welcome, each and every one just walking in. Tonight, I wanted to share with you, I am taking a class. I started taking a class last Tuesday, last Tuesday, this past Tuesday, makes the second day of the class. And basically, it's foundations, and it's learning really what Science of Mind is all about. And this time of year is the perfect time for those of you that are in Science of Mind and those of you that are becoming familiar with it. This is the thing itself, and it seems like this is a perfect time to start. So for me, I've gone back to the basics, what Science of Mind is, and it's basically the 5 steps of treatment and what it means to me. So I'm just going to share this with you. When we turn within to begin communing with self, we need to recognition. In this step, I realized that God is the absolute reality, and as such, the only intelligence. And I stay there, giving the praise and the recognition so that I can be centered and feel this presence. And then I move into unification. And at this step, I unify my thinking with God, recognizing that my mind is an individualization of God mind as my mind. And I think on that, what that really means. I know that God is the only intelligence. This knowledge does nothing for me until I identify with it. So then again, I take a deep breath and I stay there. In this step, I accept the idea that I am now thinking with the mind of God. The Spirit of God moves through me as spirit of self-awareness. And then I move into realization. Bringing recognition and unification deeper. And then I begin to realize. The word realization means to make real. During this step, I consciously erase or dissolve whatever has caused a difficulty in my life. I am willing to give up my false beliefs, opinions, and attitudes. I use whatever words are needed to establish in me the feeling already having a life that is whole, perfect, and complete. I dwell on those things, those ideas, those thoughts. And then Thanksgiving. I now give thanks that my treatment is a new mental cause and that I have set in motion. And I give thanks also for the manifestation, knowing that it is already done. I accept it in that very moment. Because love is the way, and the law makes it possible. And I believe this, and I give thanks for it. And then in the final step, I release. In this step, I mentally let go of the treatment and let the law work out the good I have established in my mind for myself. And for the person, the situation with whom I'm holding thought and space for. I am no longer concerned about the situation, and I am free to act as though the demonstration is already complete. This is my mantra. This is my stance. This is what I do to renew myself. I go back, I go deep, and I encourage you, each and every one of you, to do the spiritual practices that you do to bring you closer to your spirit and keep you focused on your journey. I'd like to share an affirmation for you to think on. And I accept the guidance of infinite presence to say and do what is the highest good for me and for everyone in my consciousness. I accept the guidance of infinite presence to say and do what is the highest good for me and for everyone in my consciousness. And a quote from our founder, Ernest Holmes, Science of Mind, page 145. A realization of the presence of God is the most powerful healing agency known to the mind of man. Love, peace, and harmony I leave with you, and knowing that we are on the right path and we are never alone. And Spirit is waiting for us to embrace him. Thank you. This evening I'd like to give you a few announcements. The Karma Yoga is a detailed cleaning of our center tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. here at the center. For those of you that have already acknowledged and are aware, please, I'm offering thanks in advance. Please show up on time. And those that are listening this evening, if you can come out, please do so. Bring your favorite cleaning supplies. Reverend Jenny Hoffman at gmail.com is who you should register with, but it's a little late at this evening, but so word of mouth at this time. Tonight, I'm going to mention for the last time, Reverend Mike is teaching the Foundations class. It's on Tuesday nights, 6:30 to 8:30 here at the center and online. It is a very, very good class. And we've only done 2, and we're so deep into it. There's 8 of us. I am one, and I am so moved by it. So, if you would like, please contact Reverend Mike at CSLGH.org. We are welcoming back the Junior Church, the first and third Sunday at 10:30. We're looking for February 5th to be our first day for the opening. Contact Reverend Nikki for information at CSLGHNicole@gmail.com. Also, Reverend Nikki will be starting a class on January 3rd. Be My Best in 2023. It's a 4-week in-person fun and social workshop. For those of you that are interested, it's a 4 days on Monday, 6:30 to 8. And the cost is $60. Early bird registration before January 21st. It will be $50. Thank you.
Can I see Adrian's segment, please? Thank you, Beverly.
Yes.
I just want to, that starts on the 23rd, January 23rd, a Monday.
So is it 50 or 60?
If you get a hold of her now, it's 50. If you wait till the night of the class, it'll be 60. So, if you're interested, check it out. She's a great teacher. I'd love to see more of you around here. Yeah. So these are for Sunday too, right? So I better not fold them up. All right, so it's great to see you all here, and I know that we have some folks joining us online as well. I think our friend, we have a friend who joins us regularly from Connecticut, whose name is Kate, and So she may be joining us online because this foundations class is both in person and online. So it's nice to be meeting with people again. And I have to say I've missed that, and I've missed all of you over the last, 2.5 years, whatever it's been. It's been too long. So it's great to see everyone here. It's nice being in class. And it's nice going through and looking at the chat later and see what folks had to share. So one of the things that, let me just say this. So this is the Get Real and Heal meditation service. And, meditation means different things. So for instance, there's, mindfulness meditation, which is kind of what we do a version of that here until we get to the end where I kind of got it up a little bit. But mindfulness meditation is for folks in secular settings to get the benefits of being still, observing the breath, and observing thought without getting attached to it. Then we can also use it. We can also use it for folks, people of faith, regardless of tradition, that we can use it to maintain our conscious contact with God as we understand it. That's probably mostly how I use it, although my experience with it was through Vipassana meditation, as taught by Mr. Goenka. And that is, every denomination has their pure teaching. And so Mr. Goenka says, this is the pure Buddhist, this is the way the Buddha did it, which is in silence. So, and years back when we were doing the noontime meditation, we were doing 45-minute sits in the silence. That's like doing push-ups, man. that's like, yeah. So, but we're not doing that here. My purpose here is to get us to go for 15, sometimes 20 minutes, so that we can have an experience of at least a sense of peace and harmony, and maybe even be able to achieve a meditative state. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you've lost track of time and you can't believe that we're finished already, then you've achieved a meditative state. So congratulations. And sometimes, maybe half of the time, it's going to be, when's it going to be over? I wonder how much time there's been. So I'll give you a little trick on that. Just have yourself a little watch so that you can take a little peek and know, okay, there's only 5 minutes left. You'd be surprised how much stronger you can sit with just a little peek. And I got that from watching some of the monks. I didn't know they were monks when we were sitting at this retreat I went to, but after the fact, I found out they were monks. And they had a little watch, and I thought, God, these guys are amazing. They would sit like for 45 minutes. Then at the end of the retreat, 12 days later, you find out they're actual monks. So they should be able to sit for 45 minutes, right? But they had a little electronic watch, and so they're the ones who gave me that little tip. So there you go. So the take on it tonight is, given that here in Southern California, we are experiencing weather, which is something that we don't often get to witness here. And I don't know about you guys, I'm enjoying it. Some of our communities are getting hammered, and that's, up west of here out in Ventura, and that's a drag. But for those of us here in the city, it's more of an inconvenience than anything else. But it's also an opportunity to experience nature. In the urban environment, at least for me, in the urban environment, I have to find ways to cultivate my connection with nature. And for me, connecting with nature is connecting with the divine. Now, the truth is, as Beverly stated, the truth is that God is everywhere present. That's absolutely true. And for me, for whatever reason, because I have it in my head this way or whatever, I love getting up into these local hills here. So there's Alicio Canyon, there's O'Melveny Park, there's up on Tampa, there's actually redwoods down in that little ravine down in there. So it's nice to have that connection. And maybe it's an ancestral thing because of this, my connection with, my Irish heritage, which has within it a Celtic connection, which has been made popular recently by John O'Donohue, David White, and this writer who's been around for a while but new to me, John Philip Newell. And he's speaking to how the Celtic tradition found its way into Christianity. So after the Romans left Britain, this Celtic tradition kind of emerged and had an influence on early Christianity, which was still kind of trying to find its way. And so this fellow named Pelagius, and I could be hacking his name, by the way, he was a Welshman and a monk and a teacher, of which Augustine took him on. And Augustine reckoned he was a heretic. But as they did in those days, they had like these little trials and all that, and he managed to dodge a couple of those, which apparently annoyed Augustine, because Augustine was pushing this thing, original sin, right? Which it turns out that in the Eastern Orthodox, they don't teach that. I didn't know this, did you? So, and there's just been a lot of heavy-duty stuff come down over that original sin thing. So, so this guy taught a few things, and then I'll get off and we'll get into meditation here. Pelagius taught the sacredness of the human soul. Okay? The essence of our nature is of God. Now, many of us grew up with this idea that we are separate from the divine. But this inner nobility can become buried, he says, covered over by falseness and delusion. Another thing that he taught was that you could actually see the face of God in a newborn. Isn't that cool? That you could see the face of the divine in a newborn because it hadn't been influenced by the world yet. And he also spoke to how our human nature is sacred because it is not only of God, but so is all of nature as well. And so this comes right out of kind of the Celtic tradition. And they also saw Christ as the ultimate druid. And this is, so they took the Celtic teachings before they learned about Jesus in the New Testament. That's their Old Testament. And so then the Christ shows up, and so that's how they made all that work. But the main thing that I want to pull into this is that nature was the centerpiece within Celtic spirituality. And that's why I think it's so for particularly those of us who live in urban environments, I want to encourage all of you to make time to get in a natural environment, even if it's just within your own garden or within a park that you like. Go to a Melviny, hug a tree, feel. So in Alicio, there's these old oak trees, right? So they're at least 100 years old, right? And there's a vibe there. So anyway, let's meditate. But let's meditate with this idea of cultivating a sense of connection with the natural side of ourself, right? That animal biologic of ourself, which is actually a community. A human being is actually a community of many organisms. There are 4 trillion cells within the human body. So right now, where you're sitting, there are 4 trillion organisms or components, and only half of them are human. Wild, right? So you have the biome in your digestive system, in your intestines, on your skin, and there are all of these symbiotic relationships with these other organisms. And so together we are living in harmony, in homeostasis, the spirit living in communion with the spirit within this sacred community that all 7.8 billion of us, we are that. So let's just take a moment just to put our hand over our heart and take a breath. And exhale and feel the breath. Maybe even become aware of your own heartbeat. That we are alive. And so often we're not even aware of it. But we are now. And so we take another breath and just find a pose to relax in. We bring our awareness to our feet. So mine are anchored on the floor, whatever's comfortable for you. Bring our attention to our posture. And with each in-breath, bringing our awareness to the aliveness in this moment. So we bring our attention, place our attention on the movement of the breath in the nostril. Sitting erect, comfortably erect, free of tension. The tummy rising and falling easily, naturally. And we find the mind begins to still. And as thoughts arise, we just observe them like a leaf floating down a stream. Should we get hooked by a thought, we catch ourselves moving from thought to thinking. As we become aware of it, we just observe it. Oh, I'm thinking, and take a deep breath and just feel the release of it. Just return our attention back to the breath. Taking one more deep breath together. Feeling the exhale, feeling the shoulders drop as we move into the silence now. Paying attention now to the exhale in the nostril for 15 minutes or so. staying with the breath. As we acknowledge that by definition, that which is divine is all powerful, all knowing, is everywhere present. So right where we are, God is. That it is in us, around us, that we are breathing it is breathing us. So we take a deep breath and exhale. Again, staying with the breath, knowing with each in-breath that we are fanning the flame of the divine within our very heart center. This flame of the divine in our heart center is a representation of our own awareness of the individualized power and presence. Of our higher power, however we know that to be. So with each in-breath, we are fanning this flame. It grows in brilliance and in its radiance. It's this ball of divine light within the heart center, expanding with each in-breath. And we're breathing in light and exhaling love. Breathing in light, exhaling love. And with each in-breath that we are aligning with the pattern of perfection within. For we understand and know that our body temple is designed to express itself as radiant good health. So with each in-breath now, knowing this field of light and love is extending beyond our body, torso, side to side, front to back, top to bottom, that we are sitting in this field of light and love, that there is an alignment, an energetic alignment happening now. At the smallest aspects of our being, at every atom, every molecule, every cell, every organ, every muscle, every neuron, all the various components and biological systems of our body are aligned with the pattern of perfection that is the Creator's intelligence and expression as our bodies. So in this way, we are expressing radiant good health. And we take a deep breath and release, just allowing this to be the new expression of our life. Staying with the breath, knowing that our mind now is open to new and creative and dynamic ideas, that we know that whatever challenge or any seeming sense of struggle that we may be engaged in, that we know that that the solution is already in place. And that we are opening our mind, opening our heart to a divine download, a cosmic download that we are capturing even now in ways known, maybe even unknown, for new and creative and dynamic ideas that we are intuitively accessing and guided into allowing its full and complete demonstration to express itself. If not tonight, through the various aspects of the way of expressions of mind, through dreams, through insights, that we are aligning our eyesight with the cosmic insight. So we take a deep breath and we release that so that we know further that our relationships, whether they be at work or at home, in the supermarket, on the freeway, that our relationships with our brothers and sisters are conscious, that we intuitively find ways to recognize the face of the divine in all people, in all sentient creatures, that we experience our relationships in ways that are harmonious, have connection within them, even a sense of passion and creativity within them, a joyful expression of the joy of knowing that we are the life of the divine expressing, and so is everyone and everything else too. So we take a deep breath and we release that. As we know together that there is but one power, one presence, one source, one life of the divine that is both impressing and expressing itself in, through, and as all of life, in, through, and as our life now, in, through, and as the life of all beings. That we are, so whatever cares, concerns, intentions, aspirations that we have for our life, that we are just now taking a deep breath and releasing all of it now to that aspect of the mind of the divine that knows only to say, yes, my beloved, yes. In you I am well pleased. So we feel a sense of deep gratitude for the many blessings in our life and for the good that is always ours every time we name and claim it. That from this place of gratitude and confidence we release our word now, knowing it is done. So we move through the rest of this evening as we arrive home in safety and good order, that we make our way through the rest of this evening, making our way to our beds. As our heads hit the pillow, that we drift off easily and effortlessly to sleep, dreaming sweet dreams, awakening, feeling fully rested, restored, full of a sense of vim and vigor and a zest for living our best life now. So one final breath together then. And that final release. So we just let it go. Let it be so. Together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. Amen. So thank you for joining us tonight. Again, if this is your first time joining us, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've hit the big 500 number sometime this month. So thanks to you. And if you hit that notification button, you will be notified. You can join us online at 10:30 on Sunday mornings. And of course, we have a lot of things going on right now at the center. If you want interested in classes and so forth, check us out at CSLGH.org. You can find out how to get a hold of me there, and I can get you up to speed. All right, until then, know that you are loved. Know that you all are loved here. Peace and blessings, and we'll see you next time.